Hi everyone, it's Jolly here bringing you today another TFT guide. This time we're going to be focusing on Mutant Protectors type of build. It's an early reroll comp for patch 11.24. Garen did get hit. We had to take that into consideration when building this team comp. But overall, it's a comp that I like, that I feel like you could definitely carry with. It'll definitely get you all the way up into high elo. Let's go ahead and dive into this team comp. Okay, so the main champions that I use in this team comp are Garen, Graves, Kassadin, Caitlyn, Vi, Blitzcrank, Kog'Maw, and those are the main ones. Sometimes you could add Mundo in there. If you don't want to add Mundo, you could also add Malzahar. If you don't want to add Malzahar, there's also things like Jinx that you could add into this team comp. Because of the sister thing with Vi, that definitely helps. But yeah, depending on what you want to build, you definitely want to have like specific champions in this build. So to start off with, so usually for my early game, what I start off with is like I like having protectors off first. So that kind of looks like having Kassadin, Garen, and Blitzcrank. You want to build your items on Garen, so you want to get the Bloodthirster, the Wormhogs, and then the Bramble. Bramble because of the assassins. However, you could also build something like a Gargoyle Stoneplate, the Gargoyle Stoneplate over the Bramble just to give you some MR. But overall, this is a good build for Garens. So the objective of this comp right now is like you want to get your champs, right? You want to get most of these, especially Garen and Kog'Maw, to 3 stars. So that's your main priority. So that looks like slow rolling at level 5 to get your Garen, because you don't want to use all your gold because you still want to get your Kog'Maw to 3-star. So slow roll to get a Garen, and then at level 5, and then slow roll at level 6 to get your Kog'Maws. If you're able to pick up any of these eventually, go ahead and do so. But having them at 2-star will help you get early wins and stack wins. So you could get, if you get Caitlyn to 2-star, you get Vi or Graves to 2-star, Kassadin to 2-star, Blitz and Garen to 2-star. That's a great start. So usually what typically my build looks like in the beginning is Kassadin, Garen, Blitzcrank, Caitlyn, and Kog'Maw. That's kind of like my early start build. So you go from Kassadin, Garen, Blitzcrank, then Caitlyn, then Kog'Maw. And after that, you eventually get to the point where you have this build here, where you have Kassadin, Graves, Garen, Blitzcrank, Caitlyn, Kog'Maw. And this is kind of like my standard. I like having a front line, right? It's just so that when we fight, you know, your Caitlyn and your Kog'Maw could do damage for free. So on Kog'Maw, you want to build your Rage Blade. That's a must. You always want to build Rage Blade. Then you want to build your Giant Slayer, and then you want to build your Hand of Justice. Any order that this is fine, but the one that's most important is this Rage Blade. Cool. So this is kind of early game. After that, once you get to like, of course you need level 6 for this, right? Once you do that, you could go a couple of ways. Like you definitely need your mutants. So if you want to go a bit more tanky, defend your Kog'Maw, you could go Mundo. Something else that I've tried that really works is that you could go Caitlyn, Kog'Maw on this side, and then you could build your Malzahar. Here, just you have 3 people in the back while your front line just takes fights. If you have Blitzcrank in the front, you do not need this. But if you do want to have something else in the front instead, you could have Blitzcrank here and put something else in there like the Mundo, right? You want to have the Enforcer for Caitlyn. You could also just, instead of going Mundo, you could go with Vi top on here. So she is a little tanky, so she could be in the front line. And then this kind of allows you, if you have Vi in there, you could also just get Jinx later on in the game, and she could be your hyper carry. And that's about like your 9 champs you get to level 9. Of course, like for these champs like Kassadin, Garen, Kog'Maw, Caitlyn, like you want to be first to those champs. You want to 2-star them. You want to make sure you're able to build this team. If somehow they get taken, right, then you definitely have to adapt. So that's where you either want to go the sister way with Vi, Jinx, or you want to go more mutants. So that's kind of where the Mundo comes in. Right, the Mundo is really good. You could put the Blitz in front. Right, put the Mundo in there. Sometimes you're able to get another protector. So when you get the protector, that kind of helps a lot with your team. So you could give that to like Mundo. Because Mundo. That way you have 4 protectors, right? You could have Academy. So this is kind of like a really good team comp. If you started off from the beginning and you had like the protectors and you had your backline, then overall you should be having a couple of wins. You should be able to have a couple of wins, and you should be able to get to top 4 most games, if not top 2, right? And then as you see fit, like adapt. You want to, if some of these are contested, you want to build maybe snipers. You want to go ahead and do that because you already have 2 snipers. So you could bring in Tristana, you could bring in Misfortune. That also helps. So, like I said, depending on if you're contested on some of these, sometimes you're not, and that's really good. But more than not, some people are going to try to contest you if they see you building this. But yeah, make sure you. But more importantly, max out your Garen, max out your Kog'Maw, and you should be fine with this team comp. Alternative items for Kog'Maw, you could build. Actually, for Garen and Kog'Maw, like these items are really good for them. So you want to build those. But if you can, you could build like a Last Whisper on Kog'Maw. That would help. You could build a Bloodthirster Kog'Maw. That also helps. But what's important is this Rage Blade. The other 2, you can mix it up with different things, like Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, Rapid Fire Cannon. Like, those would be okay. Or Runon's Hurricane, those are good too. Those are good secondary items. But for Garen, you definitely need these. For Kog'Maw, the Rage Blade. Yeah, but that's kind of basically it for this Mutant, Protector, / Sniper, Twin Shot Academy build. Yeah, and hopefully you find this helpful. So comment down below if there's any team comp you would like us to cover, and just let us know. And have a good day. Peace.